Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your girl Asia from the Rain's Fangirl channel. I am back with another video. Now, this video will be about Found, and I'm gonna be I'm gonna be talking about something that bothered me in episode 7, I believe so, in season 2, that I really want to get off my chest. And I might go on a little side rant and talk about why I feel like in TV shows and movies, in period, just period, they need to stop doing teacher and student relationships. That's just how I feel. So this video will be me talking about how in episode 7 and season 2 of Found, they basically tried to victim blame Gabi by basically saying that everything that happened between her and Sir is something she wanted to happen, but then when he when her friend was like on the when her friend was on the news, or not her friend, a classmate that went to her school was on the news, she was saying how Gabi and and Sir were very close when when he was her teacher and she was going to the school, which makes sense because watching the show, everyone knows that was her favorite teacher. I mean, she loved literature, so he was teaching that class. But I feel like if y'all pay attention to everything from the beginning that Sir was doing, he was basically grooming Gabi. He was grooming her up until that day he could get her all alone. Like, he groomed her. He basically, you know, found something special in her that he did not see in the other kids. He gave her all his attention, right? That's what her classmates said, right? Her classmates said nobody in that school mattered or had his attention other than Gabi. Lacey said Gabi was like his oxygen. She's like his breath, right? So to me, I feel like instead of taking that like, oh, this teacher really cares, I would have took that as like a red flag. Like, that's a little weird. It's a little weird, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a teacher caring for their student, like being there for their student, being someone they can confide in. But I do feel like there should be a boundary. I do feel like there should be certain stuff I feel like a student should not share with their teacher, and I feel like there's certain stuff a teacher should not share with their student. I just think sometimes there should be a line crossed, and I definitely think that boundary should be really for the adult, aka as in the teacher, to draw that line, because at the end of the day you are the teacher, you are in a position of power. So I feel like certain stuff you should not let slide, and I feel like it should be boundaries that should be crossed. I mean, there should be boundaries set up. And I just found it funny that her classmates said basically like Sir was basically falling in love or whatever it is that he felt for Gabi while he was her teacher, right? She said they ate lunch every day. He always had eyes for Gabi. While all the other girls tried to get his attention, his only focus was Gabi. Instead of this classmate taking that as like that's a little weird, she's taking it as okay, they definitely had something going on behind the scenes. She feel like behind the scenes, Gabi and Sir were intimate, and when she tried to break it up or try to break it off and didn't want to be with him anymore, he held her against her will. Now, me personally, I am not a fan of victim blaming. That victim blaming shit, it absolutely sucks because as a victim, you're already blaming yourself into thinking it was something that you did that made them do what they did to you. Period. And I know from a personal, like, I just know personally because I am someone who has been through something. And trust me, the first things that's rumbling through your head is basically you victim blaming yourself. So the last thing you need is for the world to be victim blaming you and making it seem like it was something when it wasn't. Because as a victim, the first thing you do is victim blame yourself. Like, did you say something? Were you too nice? Was it the way you dressed? What did you do to make them do what they did to you? And I just feel like regardless of what you say, regardless of how you said it, or regardless of how you dress, you didn't ask to be assaulted, you didn't ask to be kidnapped, you didn't ask for any of that shit. They took it the wrong way, you feel me? So I just feel like as a victim, you're already blaming yourself for something. You're already blaming yourself for the situation because you might think you did something. And as you can tell, Gabi already blamed herself because she told Don that she sometimes wished she'd go back in time and prevent her own kidnapping. She wished she never would have went back inside the school that day. She wished she would never have left with him and made him drive her all the way out to the woods into a farmhouse where there's no one. It's completely isolated. It's so completely quiet. She said she just wished that she would have changed it. But as a child, you would not think that an adult that is also your teacher that you trusted and respected and that you confide in and told so much information will kidnap you. That's why I feel like it needs to be more alarming. And one thing is there's so many things I love about Found. But one thing I really love about Found is how they really talk about trauma, the way they discuss it, and how it's just really great. And I feel like with the whole Gabi and Sir stuff, I feel like when they show flashbacks of as her teacher and she was his student, to me, I really feel like people should really pay attention to that shit. Like, teachers really be out here grooming their students. Teachers really be out here grooming their students and really be out here faking like they care when underneath they're being sick and they pedophiles and they predators. Like, not all the way, but to a certain extent, Gabi and Sir's, like, when I look at the flashbacks, their, like, relationship a little bit kind of reminds me of the movie My Daughter's Honor, because it's kind of similar to that, but not as quite. And I'm going to say that because in My Daughter's Honor, she had a relationship with her teacher. And here, Gabi does not. Her and Sir never had sex, none of that. They never, never did any of that stuff. He just was her teacher. He kidnapped her. And when he kidnapped her, he was basically acting out what he wished his childhood was like with Gabi. Like, he wished he was able to have peaceful dinners and dress up and read and be able to read at the table and things like that. But he didn't have the best childhood. So, to me, automatically, he was manipulating Gabi, because in the first flashback they have together, when she first went to that school, he automatically was asking her questions about her childhood. What's her parents like? What was it like with her growing up? And me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with a teacher, getting to know their student, but maybe it's the way they ask. Like, okay, he already had her in the bag when he was like, when she told him her mother died and it's just her dad and her, and he kind of works a lot, so she feels lonely all the time and she kind of has to take care of him. So he was able to connect with her because he also had a parent who died. So they were able to connect with that, right? Both of them have suffered with both parents dying, so they have that in common. But when she said she was lonely, it's the way he just kept finding so much of an interest in her when she said that. And to me, from that first conversation, to me, he was grooming her up until the day he kidnapped her, in my opinion. Just like in Your Daughter's Honor, he found a really good, special, just something special in Amy, right? She wasn't, I guess she wasn't like all the other girls, thirsty or just out there and having sex. I think he liked the idea that she was pure, pure. She was kind of quiet, cute, innocent looking, right? Because that's what these predators go after, the innocent type. And, he would give her these weird ass letters talking about, you look pretty today. Like, off top, I thought that shit was weird. When, I don't know, I'm going on a side rant, because this is not about Your Daughter's Honor. This is about Found, and I'm going to get back to, people victim blaming her. But I just want to get this off my chest. When her friend saw that this teacher was giving her notes, she should have went to the principal. She should have told someone, because that is so weird for your teacher to give you a letter basically saying, you look cute or you look pretty. Like, that shit's weird. It just is. So off top, her friend should have said something, but I think her friend was jealous that she was getting attention from an older man, even though, girl, this should be nothing you should be jealous of, because that nigga was a weirdo, if anything. Amy's parents argued a lot in My Daughter's Honor. So when she was kind of telling him that sometimes she wished she was I guess like more important to her parents. Like she wished her parents wouldn't argue as much. He kind of was basically like he was basically grooming her, like basically grooming her for real, for real. Like this really all I it's like what I really can say, because he's trying to get to know her emotionally. He's trying to get her to open up to where she can trust him, to where once he finally do prey on her inappropriately, she won't think it's like out of nowhere, because they had that time to really grow a connection, right? What I'm trying to say is that neither Sir or the teacher in my daughter's honor intentions were like innocent. They both were grooming Gabi and Amy. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not trying to go too in deep about the relationship that Amy had with her teacher in my daughter's honor. Go watch the movie. It's on Tubi. It's free. The movie is really good. You will not be disappointed. This is about fun. Let me get back to that. I feel like Sir's intentions in getting to know Gabi weren't clear. They weren't innocent at all. Like, once they sat down and had that first conversation on his lunch break, I really knew from that conversation he was grooming her, and he was going to keep finding an interest in her, which he absolutely did. He was jealous of the relationship she had with her father, more in a way like he saw her father as a threat, because her father sometimes would not be able to make it to some of the special events she would have at school. So Sir kind of was like, I guess he stepped in as a way, and kind of as a father figure, will congratulate her and tell her she did such a good job and she outshined the brightest. So I think when he thought her father was not going to be there and wasn't going to show up, and her father, surprised her and was like, I was able to get off work at time, I was finally able to make it here and spend some time with you. He saw her father as a threat, and I feel like he just, I don't know, in his twisted, delusional mind, he wanted Gabi to understand that your father does not care, because during these special events where you're shining as the number one student, he never made the time to come see you. He never made the time. And when she was kidnapped, her father was never looking for her. Not one poster, not one anything. He chose the bottle over her, which we found out that wasn't necessarily true, because Sir told Gabi in season 1, in the one episode, that when he told her father wasn't looking for her, that was a lie. Her father came to Sir numerous of times because he knew that was Gabi's favorite teacher, and asked him, does he know anything? Did he know anyone who would hurt his daughter? And the fact that Sir can look in Gabi's father's face, in his eyes, when he's distraught, broken because his daughter is gone, and lie to him and say, no, I don't know who took your daughter, when it's really him, you have to be the most coldest motherfucker walking this planet. For you to be someone who kidnapped this man's daughter, and he coming to you every day at the school, breaking down and telling you how much he misses his kid, and asking you, do you know anything? And you're the one who kidnapped her, and you basically telling him no? Do you know how cold you have to be? I don't give a fuck, man. You do know how cold you have to be? He could have ended that man's pain if he just would have gave him his daughter back. Are you kidding me? The point I'm trying to get at is that I just don't like how in episode 7 they try to victim blame Gabi. Like, all the classmates who went to her school basically trying to victim blame her and basically say she wanted what happened between her and Sir, because, like I just said, because they ate lunch together, because he was her favorite teacher, because that was his favorite student. I feel like, since when in society do we blame the victim of the trauma and pain they have endured? And then people wonder why Gabi kept her fucking mouth shut and never told anyone about her trauma. Because y'all realize she kind of dissociates a lot. Because I don't think if she was to say how she feels emotionally, I don't think no one will understand. Because she finally told everyone at the MA that she was, she basically had Sir as a prisoner. And yet everyone freaked out instead of understanding where she was coming from emotionally. The only two people who understood was Dawn and Lacey. Dawn understood. Lacey understood. Margaret and Trent, they get on my fucking nerves because I feel like they basically try to victim blame her and basically try to say, man, I don't even know what, but it's just like a bunch of weird shit that I just don't like, for real, because I just don't think they understand. Like, I don't think they get it. And to me, I think what really makes me mad is that with Margaret, I think you should understand a little bit more, considering you and Gabby knowing each other for as long as y'all have as friends. I feel like she should at least understand where she's coming from, but she doesn't because she hasn't been kidnapped, so she doesn't understand the pain that Gabby pretty much had to carry since the day she's been kidnapped, since the day she escaped. And with Trent, honestly, I think Trent is mad because him and Gabby had a situationship. Hold on, let me take a drink of water. Honestly, I think Trent pisses me off because I feel like with Gabby's situation, he makes it really all about him when he really should be thinking about how she feels. Because me personally, I feel like this should have been the moment where he really stepped up and really been there for her. Like, if he's saying he love and care for her like the way he do, why the fuck is he shutting her down and not trying to understand where she's coming from? Like, if you're judging her now for her telling you, what the fuck would your reaction be any different had she told you? And had she told you when the day she did it instead of keeping it hidden? I don't think anything would be different. So that's the biggest problem that I'm really having with Trent and Margaret. I don't think their reactions will be any different than what they are now, because all they can see is that this strong woman that they have known could do such a false, like, could do an act like that. And they need to understand that the world is not in black and white. There is a gray area. And I'm not saying, oh, because you do something and you do something out of grief or whatever, of hurt and anger, that gives you the right to break the right to do something illegal. No, I'm not saying that. But I feel like as her friends, as people she's been rocking with for all these years, they should give her some type of grace. They should give her some type of benefit of the doubt. Instead, they want to throw these passive-aggressive jabs every chance they get. Margaret, please don't start with me. Don't do it. Even though I feel bad for her, because she do feel guilty about the loss of her son. I do feel bad for Margaret. I do hope somewhere down the road they eventually do find her son, get some type of answers of what might have happened to Jamie. That's what I hope for. And as far as Trent and the whole Gabby situation is concerned, I don't want them to be in a relationship at all. And me personally, I think that is why Trent is really upset. I think Trent is upset because of the fact that, you know, him and Gabby did have a situationship, and he's basically saying he would have gave his badge up, basically gave up his job as a cop if that meant being with her. And I feel like if it was a situationship, you need to leave it as that. She clearly does not want it to be anything more, because my girl is going through a lot. She needs to, first of all, before she even get in a relationship, do any of that he's trying to force her to be, let her get some help. Let her get to a therapist and seek the help she can actually get to where she can actually start healing and start growing into a better version of herself. I think Trent is trying to force Gabby into a relationship that she clearly does not want. Like, cause when I watch season 1, I can see, like, okay, they flirting, they having such a good time, and then I feel like when he's trying to reach out emotionally, she shuts him down. And I can see where Trent is coming from, because I feel like, me personally, if someone wants to give me hot and cold flashes, I'm really off you. I don't have time for you to be nice to me 1 minute and then the next for you to say, oh, we not in a relationship. So it's like, if that's the case, leave me alone, get rid of my number, stop acting like you're in a relationship with me if we're not doing that. So I can see where Trent is coming from a little bit. He feel like he is owed or entitled to some answers, but I feel like, what answer does he need if he knew at the end of the day what it was? If it was a situationship, that's what it was. It was fun for what y'all was doing. It was fun what y'all had. But the moment you wanted to make it real, she told you that's not what she was looking for. She was honest with you. So why are you why is he mad like he did something and she owed him something more? She told you she didn't want a real relationship, and yet you keep pushing. Like, no, you keep pushing it. It's like, why he keep pushing it? Why the fuck does he keep pushing a relationship onto her when he know clearly that isn't what she wants? And it clearly ain't what the fuck she need right now. If you ask me, I think Sir should kill Trent. Kill him. Get rid of him. Trent can go for all I give a hell. He could go. I really don't give a fuck about Trent. Trent can die. Trent can get murdered by Sir. He get hit over by a bus. I don't give a fuck about Trent. He can go. He gets on my nerves. He's irritating. I never really liked him since the first season. He's just annoying as fuck. And in this season, he just keep annoying me. And to know we got 22 more episodes of the season for him to keep annoying me, oh, they need to do something for me to, I don't know, at least like him just a little bit. If not, Sir can kill him. He get rid of him. He can do what the fuck he needs to do with him. Kill him. Get rid of him. I really don't give a fuck. Like, because he just keep pushing it. Like, if you keep pushing it, like, why the fuck do you want to keep pushing her into a relationship when you clearly know at the end of the day it was just friends with benefits? Get used to it, nigga. That's what it was in the day. It wasn't supposed to be nothing more, dummy. Did you not get the fucking memo? Sorry, y'all. But at the end of the day, I don't like how Gabi is being victim blamed about her being kidnapped because Sir kidnapped her. This was her teacher. And this is what's really pissing me off because everyone is acting like it was like a regular, everyone acting like it was just a regular guy or just some random stranger who kidnapped Gabi. Even if it was a regular stranger, she still would have trauma. But I think the fact that it was someone that Gabi trusts and confided in so much about her entire life would really like do something like that where they would trick her and then kidnap her. I think that's really is what really makes her feel like she can't trust anyone, why she dissociates, why she shuts her down completely. And it's like, I don't blame her because right now the truth about everything between her and Sir is like really coming out into the public, and everyone wants to have their own little story about what they think happened before the kidnap. And it's like, y'all don't know anything. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all just want to make up these stories to, I guess, to satisfy them as journalists, kind of make up some story or whatever it might be. But I feel like at the end of the day, I'm over the mistreatment when it comes to Gabi. I'm over it. I do feel like people need to pay more attention to when it comes to teachers and students and learn how to create boundaries. Watch out for their tone. Watch out to what they say to you. If they giving you gifts, things like that, say no, turn it down. That's a big red flag. Do not do it. Watch out for what they do, because there's really teachers out here who are grooming their students and really trying to be predators and be pedophiles underneath, pretend like they give a fuck about these kids, but at the end of the day, they just plan on to take their next victim, which is really disgusting. I really don't think in this type of world, whether it's fiction or in reality, no harm should be ever done to a child. A child should be living this life freely, happy, having a good childhood. It should not be endured with pain and any of that. And a little side note I want to go on is that I'm really fucking tired of teacher-student relationships or an underage girl dating an older man. I'm kind of over all this shit being romanticized. I'm over it. I think at this point right now in this generation, no teacher-student relationships, no underage girl, and no fucking relationship with no older man. I don't think they should write it anymore in TV. I think it sends a bad message. I think it rottens the brain for younger teenagers who think that shit is okay or think that shit is hot. I think it sends a really bad message. I think society is really romanticizing toxicity and abuse and making money off of it and getting a pop. And I know some of y'all gonna say, okay, isn't that what they do in Found? No, they don't. In Found, they don't make fun of abuse, and it's not represented in a way to where it's supposed to make you want to ship Gabi and Sir. Gabi and Sir have a trauma bond because at the end of the day, Sir is confused when it comes to love because then again his mother didn't teach to him. He was abused as a child, so he think what he's doing for Gabi, he think what he did for Gabi is love, when honestly he was just her teacher who kidnapped her. That is that. It wasn't out of love, wasn't to create a family, but in his mind that's what he think it is. But to us it's just like, yo, you was her teacher who groomed her, manipulated her, and gaslighted her so you could kidnap her. At least that's how I see it. And for Gabi, it's more where it's like she still has that love and respect for Sir, to where at the end of the day she still sees him as her teacher. That could be for why they still have that relationship, and why at the end of the day they kind of run back and tie themselves at the end of the day to each other. I don't think it has anything to do with it being romantically. I don't. It has nothing to do with it being romantically. Romantically, at the end of the day, it definitely is a trauma bond. But I'm just talking about just period. I'm over teacher-student relationship storylines. I'm over all the shit that's just disgusting to me. I'm over it. Stop writing that shit in TV. Stop writing that shit in movies. Stop doing the shit, period. Because like I said, I think it sends a bad message to the younger generation. Because it's just disgusting. Nothing about a teacher having sex with his student turns me on. If anything, it makes me disgust. And even if it's fiction, people talk, oh, it's fiction, whatever the fuck. I don't care. It still disgusts me. Don't do this shit no more. Period. I don't think the shit should be romanticized. No, it should not be. So I feel like society has turned toxicity and abuse. They have done all of that and made it done. They have romanticized toxicity and abuse to make money out of it and try to manipulate the society into thinking toxicity and abuse in your relationship is okay because that is your love, right? What I'm here to tell you, that shit don't fly with me. I don't like it, so I don't want to keep seeing this shit no more. And that is just on period. Be offended, don't be offended. I really don't give a fuck. Never gave a fuck. This is me signing off. See you on my next video.